What is up, my retail fan? It's where Mike Connector from. Yes, you already know. Wait for it. Wait for it. You already know. I'm chilling here at the crib. Now, this is not financial advice. This is strictly my own personal opinion and my reaction towards or with Adam Aaron, CEO of AMC. Okay, now this is part two. Now, I'm going to refer back to the picture on Twitter. Okay, if there's any mistakes or anything, we're going to keep it moving. I don't have time to be editing and so forth. As you know, I don't edit my videos. Okay, now the picture that I have on Twitter is pinned to the top of my profile is of me about to shake the hand of Adam Aaron. Now, a lot of people are asking me. It keeps coming up, and it's I don't know why it's so fascinating. People are wondering, are concerned about his wrist. Is it a limp noodle? Is it actually just a limp wrist? Did he tighten up? Did he firm up the handshake? Was it a completely dead fish? It's pretty funny, right? People are so like just dissecting this whole picture. Now, truth be told, in my opinion, it was not a complete dead fish, but it was not that type of handshake of a CEO. That's just my opinion, okay? It wasn't a firm, it wasn't a bone-crushing handshake. It wasn't like something, a skull-crushing handshake. It was just a handshake. I'll leave it at that. Okay, now let's get back to the questions that were asked and some more information. Okay, now I know a lot of people have been mentioning my video. A lot of people have been tweeting about stuff, things about that I said, and that's fine. And here's the thing: people are upset the fact that there's people putting out the information and they're not giving me credit. I don't worry about that stuff. That's high school stuff. I don't worry about getting credit, receiving credit. It really doesn't matter to me. Okay, I had experience meeting Adam Aaron. I had some questions, and that's pretty much it. People give credit, cool. If they don't, that's fine. I don't lose sleep over it either way. It's not that big of a deal. It is what it is, okay? I got more important things in my life than to worry about getting credit, receiving credit, or what's going on, okay? Now, going back to the FTDs, one thing that he was talking to us about, and we're having sort of like a light conversation because, again, this is a span of about 20, 25 minutes, give or take a few minutes. Going over FTDs, he was giving his explanation of how they work, what his theory is or thought process of the reason why of I guess of how it just works, just FTDs in general, T+2, T+3, T+6, and all that good stuff. Okay. Now, after he said what he had to say regarding those, I asked him about T35. Now he looked at me and he says, "I don't know what that is. I'm not well versed on T35. You and Javi, or we." Probably have a better understanding of T35. And my reply was like, really? You're the CEO of AMC. You have to know what T35 is. And he says he didn't. Not well versed on it. Fine. I'll take that for whatever it is. And then I just moved on from there. Okay. Now, so questions regarding, FTDs, T35, and so on were pretty much off the books. This is the reason why that I had multiple questions. This is the reason why that I didn't want to go in with just 1, 2, or 3 questions, maybe 4 or 5. I had a multitude of questions. Now, here's the thing where we start getting into APE. I asked him the inception of APE, when APE was introduced, okay? And now a lot of people want me to ask him, why does he keep saying it's free? It wasn't free, it was taken off AMC. I didn't ask him that question, okay? Truth be told, I didn't ask him. But I did ask him, when APE was introduced, it was like $7 or $8, and it ran up to about $10 plus. Why didn't they start selling to make money at the time, to start accumulating money when APE was $8, $9, $10 plus? Now, his reply was simply this. They beforehand, okay, they already came to a conclusion that they weren't going to sell for a month, 1 month after APE was introduced. Now, the reason why they said they weren't going to sell for a month was because if it went down, they did not want retail to think that they're the ones that pushed it down. Now, for me, that doesn't make sense. I mean, in my opinion, to what's been going on as of late, they don't really care what goes on with retail. They don't care what we think. Again, I have strong opinions about that, and I'm going to have them, later on. I don't think they concern or really care about what the retail investor thinks. They want to do what they want to do their way with their friends, with people who they rub elbows with. And so therefore, they already predetermined that they weren't going to sell any APE a month after it was introduced into the market. Now, I have a really hard time just dealing with that from a business standpoint, from a business side, just knowing that, hey, you know what, if you're not going to actually introduce APE when it comes to making money, and you're going to just sort of just like wash your hands with it and be like, okay, we're going to wait and just watch the stock go down, down, down. And then you're going to say, hey, he was like almost proud, like, well, we started at $4. We started introducing or start selling at $4 and some change. Like, come on, man. Like, you know how much money you left on the table? Because I don't know if he had again, this is just my speculation. This is me speculating. I don't know if they had a handshake deal, said, okay, well, we'll introduce APE, and then we're going to wait a month. So you do what you got to do. You guys take care of what you got to take care of. I don't know that. I'm just assuming, I'm speculating, okay? But why wouldn't you sell at $8, $9, $10? And if you saw it hit $10 and plus and start to retrace and start to come back down, why wouldn't you say and look at your whole board and say, hey, you know what? We should start selling now. If the price can go down any further, we might lose our opportunity to actually put a lot more money into our war chest, a lot more money to pay off debt, a lot more money to do other things. And they didn't. They waited to that $4 range and obviously down further. Now, I asked them about the 11 halts with APE. Now, I know that he does not have control over the halts. I know that he doesn't have control what goes on in the stock market. I know that that's out of their hands. But I asked him if he can elaborate or just give his opinion on the halts. And he said he couldn't. And I understand that. That's rightfully so. Like, he's the CEO of a company and there's 11 halts on APE. And it's not something he has control of. And so he's talking about things that he does have control of. Now, I did express at the time my disappointment, the way they handled APE. I told them I was disappointed. They missed out on opportunities. And I completely disagreed from start to finish how they just handled the whole situation when it comes to APE. Straight up. That was it. You know, there was no, he just looked at me and just sort of nodded his head. Okay. So now it comes to another question. And this is where I would say to some degree start getting a little tense, a little thick in the air. But like he said, he's a big boy. He can handle some questions. So therefore, I'm asking some questions. Now, one of the questions that I did ask was this. After the deal with Antera, excuse me, dealing with Antera, the inception, the Antera coming in, how much say or power do they have when it comes to running AMC? How much say-so do they have? Now, when I said that, he immediately, boom, they have no say-so whatsoever. It was quick. No say-so at all. They do not tell us how to run the company, and on and on. And he was emphatic about that. Like, just deliberately emphatic. They have no say-so whatsoever. And just like, and to me, it was like, I know you're answering the question, but why be so jumpy? Why be so aggressive when it comes to answering that question? There's a reason why I'm asking the question, because I want to know the answer. I mean, he could have said, you know, they have no say-so at all. But that's not what he said. Now, he did squirm in the chair. Again, this is from my perception, from what I've seen. Tough questions, I felt he didn't handle them as a CEO would. Directly. A lot of looking around, a lot of, He's going to give me half-ass answers. I'm not going to fall for half-ass answers. I'm going to repeat the question. How much say-so, how much say or how much power does Antera have when it comes to the way AMC's ran? Again, zero, none, emphatically. Okay? Fine. Now, I had to follow up. How long do you see Antera being involved when it comes to AMC? Having a hand in what they're doing. Because I did say this. They're actually making money hand over fist. They got a sweet deal. Retail didn't. They got a sweet deal. Now, he did say that the deal they got, you know, signed for 60 cents, that we got money, we paid off debt, and it's like 30, 40% and all the other good stuff. It's that stuff that he just talks about, right? He just, you know, we already know this. But we wouldn't be in that situation if he had the stones to actually start selling APE, if that's what we're going to do anyways, at $8, $9, $10, $10 plus. You start seeing a retracement. When it click, hey, maybe I should start dropping some APE. Because I feel they still don't care what retail thinks. So if they're dumping APE in the market and APE's going down, it went down anyways without them selling. You're going to say that selling at $4 was much better than selling at 8, 9, or 10, or even at the retracement of 10 back 9 and 8, $7, because you don't want retail to think any less of you? It's not smart business right there. Now, going back to Antera, I told him they sold 3 million shares. How do you feel about them swinging AMC? Now, he sort of looked at me. I'm like, yeah, they're making money hand over fist off the back of retail. They're swinging AMC. They're playing puts. They're calls. They sold a whole bunch of shares. It's just all over, just making tons and tons of money. So I asked him this. With that being said, after the deal, have you or anybody had communication with Antera after the deal was done? Again, no, they have not. They have not talked to anybody from Antera. That was it. Once the deal was done, that's it. Nothing else. Aggressively. So I had to reiterate. You're telling me that no one's talked to Antera since the deal? To me, personally, again, this is my opinion. What I see, what I feel, I don't think that's truthful from what I saw. Now, a lot of people have their own opinions. You can formulate your own opinions and think whatever you want to think. Myself, Harvard the Great, a lot of people were there. Now, at the time of questioning, someone did mention this, that was tweeting at Cat Striker, and they actually mentioned me, like, hey, were you there when Mike was questioning? She was not there. She had already left with her crew, and they took her pictures, and they did all this stuff, and they bounced. They have other things to do. Again, like I told you, Javi and I were one of the last ones to get there. There was another guy, and he said for us to go first. Before him, he was the very, very last guy, and he had some posters to sign. He had a couple things that he wanted to get signed and so forth. I don't know what it was, but he was a cool dude. But he wanted to hear the questioning that we had. He knew we were there for a reason. He knew we were there to ask him maybe difficult questions. He asked me what questions I was going to ask him, and I told him, I'm not going to tell you until we start asking. And he's like, all right, cool, that's good enough. So, again, just to end this right here, we're already at 11 minutes again, is the fact that asking him, did he have any communication with Antera, or anybody else had any communication with Antera after the deal was done? Emphatically, unequivocally, he says no. Now, me personally, again, I'm going to say this one last time, I find that hard to believe. The way Antera is handling business, the way Antera is doing what they're doing, I mean, it's like everybody's getting a sweetheart deal. Mudrick, Antera, Netflix, Highcroft. I mean, you just started going down the list. Everybody's getting a sweet deal, except who? Retail. The retail investor, again, is always last to know. The retail investor is always last to know. So that's all I have for today. My retail fam, just understand that, these are my own thoughts and my own opinions. This is from a meet and greet with Adam Aaron. And you can take it how you want. I don't need no credit, but I'm just sharing my experience for myself and Harvard the Great. Everybody have a blessed night and stay tuned for some more tomorrow. Talk to you later. Peace.